right. Hey, we are live on Tuesday Fest. Weird. I'm usually on Thursday at 10 o'clock Central. I'm here at 7 o'clock Central. WLFE is not running a show right now, so I am busting through the airwaves and taking over WLFE for right now, mainly because we have a special event. I did not do any promos for this show because wasn't aware until the last few minutes that I was going to be able to do this live. So here we are. We are live, and we are talking about this. Here we are. It's a Paraunity Paracon in at Fort Walters. Get my tongue working right. And we'll be discussing who, what, when, and where this event is, how it's going to be there, how you can get there, when it is, and when the guests are going to be, and who they are. So we will be discussing this tonight. This is the banner. They have some guests. They have a very nice price on getting in. And very good timing in Texas also. Weather's kind of good. I mean, it's kind of raining right now, but the event's about 10, 12 days away. And like I said, we'll be discussing it live. I'll be also showing this show recorded a couple of times before the event. And we will be talking about it tonight. If you're ready, Bones, wake up. Okay, I got to wake up my producer and co-star here so we can get started. Bones, do it.
Warning, the following video contains strong language which may be offensive to some viewers and or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Southern Fried Paranormal with Len Dorman featuring Bones. Catch us on Spotify, iHeart, iTunes, Spreaker, Facebook, Stream, and everywhere else you catch your podcasts. And of course, WLFE-DB.com. Now, from the backwoods of southeast Arkansas, right beside the Bayou Bartholomew, the longest bayou on the planet, broadcasting from downtown metropolitan Cane Creek Township, here is your host, Len Dorman.
Hello, everyone. We are a live show right now. I will be showing the show again. It will be recorded. But right now, we are live on Tuesday nights, which is strange. I usually do my show at Thursday night, a little bit later in the evening, 10 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock Eastern. And we are on at 7 Central, which, of course, is 8 o'clock Eastern. Main reason, because I did not have a show last Thursday for reasons out of my control. And we have an event coming up that I want to talk about and want to promote. And definitely the people running the event want to talk about. And we will be hitting that hard and heavy starting in just a minute or two. Here is, leaning to my right's a little bit better. This is the event. This is the guest. This is a lot of details. And we will be discussing everything you see here in a matter of minutes with Phoenix and Kellen. All right, if they are ready to go, I am ready to flip this banner off, and we're going to get them in here right about now. Phoenix and Kellen, can y'all hear me okay?
We can, or I can. Mm-hmm. How are you?
All right.
Nice.
Now, I am doing just peachy. We have some approaching rain. It's been humid as a devil, and I can't run an air conditioner in here and do a show at the same time. So I'm dressed in a t-shirt. It's got a pocket on it. It's a little bit classy, but it's a t-shirt and some shorts, and I'm barefoot. It's hot in this room, and it's humid. Must be 90% right now around here. So I'm hot and a little sweaty.
Yeah,
but Phoenix and okay, yeah, y'all are not that far away. No. We're gonna get some rain later tonight. I'm gonna squeeze in this show before the rain starts because it interferes. Y'all may have not caught it. I live by a bayou here in southeast Arkansas, and I live outside a town of 2,200 people. I
Oh,
say
wow.
this originates from downtown metropolitan Cane Creek Township, which is just a very small area. Actually, the township officially covers Star City and most of the county here, but the actual Cane Creek Township is just about 30, 40 people.
Jeez.
Wow.
We
Pretty rural.
have two businesses and a cemetery and one church.
Well, I'm in Austin, Texas, so a little different.
Yeah, a little different there. Where are you, Phoenix?
Tornadoes about an hour away tonight, so luckily they're not hitting here.
I'm actually located in a smaller town that's growing every day, may I add, called Anna, Texas, which is right outside of McKinney, Allen, Plano,
Okay.
about 45 minutes from the Oklahoma border, actually.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So we're not that awful far apart.
I'm thinking 400 miles, maybe.
Something like that.
Mhm.
You got to go a little bit north to get to the Oklahoma border, not too far, and definitely got to go about 3/4 across the state.
Oh, maybe a little further then.
Because we're over here. We're actually at the Bartholomew Bayou is actually the dividing line between Mississippi River Valley,
Okay.
or what they call Delta, and kind of the plateau that goes up through northern Arkansas into Oklahoma. So I'm right at the kind of the crack between two different kinds of geology and geography here.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, Bayou Bartholomew used to have steamboats go up and down because it used to be 25,000 years ago the Arkansas River.
Oh, wow.
So it was actually wide enough to allow small, not the big things you go on cruises on now, but it used to have smaller steamboats go up and down up until about 1910, 1912. It just got it wasn't worthwhile, with trucking and railroad.
How far are you from the Devil's Den State Park?
You're talking about Pea Ridge Battlefield?
The Devil's Den is a state park where there was an alien abduction.
That Devil's Den.
That Devil's Den. Yeah, it was in 1972.
I'm not sure where that is.
I have never been, but I do want to go there.
I think
That's the reason I was asking.
I think it's further north. The Devil's Den I'm thinking about is part of the Pea Ridge Battlefield, which was the Civil War battle up in the northwest corner, which is not that far from you because that's very close to the corner of Oklahoma, Missouri, and Arkansas.
Have you ever investigated it?
Yeah, that'd be a good spot to investigate.
Yeah.
No. I have not gotten up there yet. It's kind of far away from me, and I'm an investigative group of one.
Yeah, me too.
So if I go up there,
sort of, Phoenix all the time, and
it's hard. It's hard to cover a big battlefield like that. I mean, it's not like Gettysburg, but it's still a good sized battlefield by yourself.
Well, I'm down for it.
I'm down for it. Let's do it. We got 2, got 3. Here we go.
Yeah,
we'll do this.
We can set something up.
We can do that.
But well, what I like to do is each one of you. No, sorry, Kellen, but let's go ladies first.
All right, that's fine.
Phoenix, would you like to say just real quick something about yourself and what you do?
Well, number one, I'm a paranormal investigator, and I'm a lifelong psychic medium. And I've been psychic my entire life. And those are my loves. The metaphysical world, the esoteric world is what I do.
Okay. So, Kellen, what do you do in the paranormal?
I'm a paranormal investigator too. Lone Star Paranormal Research. You can kind of see our logo right here. I guess all paranormal investigators are evidence-based, but I'm really just super evidence-based, like EVPs, visuals, like motion detectors, that sort of stuff is my kind of techniques I guess I use. And done a lot of investigating around Texas and a little bit New England and some other states. So yeah, I have a Instagram where we put most of our evidence. If anyone wants to check it out, Lone Star Paranormal Research on Instagram. And we have a bunch of cool evidence there and pictures and a lot of stuff we do.
Okay, I'll have to look that up because I'm just getting into Instagram. I'm not doing a whole lot there yet, but I'll look that up when I start looking for friends over in Instagram.
Cool, yeah, definitely check it out.
I've got hours of video I could put up.
It's good for it's getting better for paranormal stuff, because before,
is it
like less than a year ago, you could only post minute clips. So like
right.
So you had to put everything. But now I just posted a 15-minute video. Now it's like stretching the limits. Like it almost got like booted,
really
downgraded a little bit to like 720p. So yeah, but yeah, I have a pretty full-length video on there now of our last investigation. So we got some good stuff on that one.
Yeah, that was.
I'll have to look into that.
Sure was. You should see it. Absolutely. I think you'll be impressed.
Okay. Yes, I'll have to check that out because with the minute videos, I was not that enthused about going in there. But if you
it was
post
hard.
more than that,
I still did it. Like you had to like really like edit things down, and I don't know. But yeah, definitely like now it's kind of like it's better than YouTube, like because it's more of like a community sort of. Like most of my stuff is paranormal stuff on there. I don't really follow much else, and a lot of investigators have stuff, so it's kind of a nice community for it now.
Okay. Well, what we're here to do tonight
yeah.
is discuss your event. Now, I don't know who wants to go first here or who wants to talk about what, but we need to talk about where this event is and who's going to be there.
Well, we're going to have a lot of people there that's actually coming from out of state. Four of the guest speakers that's going to be there is going to be George and Kara Shopland. They're from California. And Stephen and Crystal Woodard is going to be there as speakers as well. And they're from New Mexico. I found out today that we have Angela Mitchell coming, and I don't know her last name, and I apologize for that. But I'm really excited about meeting Angela in person. And so she's going to be there. And I don't even know who all else is going to be coming, but there's a lot of people coming from out of state. And we're going to be talking about a lot of things. And we're also going to be doing investigations. Kellen is going to be heading up one of those investigations. Stephen Woodard is going to be heading one up. George is. Michael Koft is going to also be heading up an investigation. So we will be doing a lot of investigation later on in the night, but we're also going to be talking about Paraunity. We're going to be talking about what people can do to expand our unity in the paranormal community. Very, very important that we can share in the information that we get and move forward with all the things that all of us learn on a day-to-day basis. And we all generate a lot of energy, and we put a lot of time and money into investigations. And I think sharing that and becoming a tight-knit society, if you will, is very important. So we'll be talking about that as well. And Kellen, would you like to take it from here?
Yeah, I'll be doing some EVP sessions in the PX Building Bank, which is where we've gotten really great EVPs. Like the first, when the owner, Shauna, first bought the place, she invited us in to do like the initial investigation. Because like while they were doing work and stuff building, it functions as a haunted house during like October, like a huge haunted house because it's a huge building. But they have a bunch of stuff from their old property, which was super haunted, that they brought in. And while they were setting up, they just started having like strange things that seemed paranormal. So they invited us in to check it out. And I was like, all right, I'll check it out. But like, I need to like make sure like we get like solid EVPs, like really like solid stuff. And like around midnight, we started getting crazy EVPs in the bank, like this little girl.
Yeah.
Voice. And so we were super excited about it. I don't know why there's a little girl in the bank, if it is a little girl, but it definitely sounded like one. She said like, come with me and play with me.
Mhm.
And, or not play.
What?
She said, come with me and daddy.
Daddy. Mhm.
Okay. There's two things you got to think of there. You got to wonder, why she's there.
Yeah.
And the first thing is you got to wonder, is this really a little girl or something else?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then you
I
got to
was
wonder
thinking that I was trying
how
to.
she got there.
Yeah. There were like family station there. Because I was like doing some research and all that. And there's pictures of like, I found this picture of like a little girl like pinning some pins on her father's thing. So something could have happened there. I don't know. But I'm just trying to figure out if it's something that's not a little girl, why would it be there? Because it wasn't really a
Right.
dark place. It's a bank. It's a military facility. So there's definitely a lot of mystery around that. Unless it's something from transplanted from the Nazareth, because there's some darker stuff there.
It's hard to figure. I ran into a little girl at it was a bar, and it was a former funeral home. There was a little girl there. Come to find out with a little research, her whole family of 4 were killed in a car wreck on the interstate, just right in front of the bar.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I think that sometimes happens. Like if spirits die, like on the side of the road, they just go to the closest building because
Closest building where anybody is, they just go straight in there.
Wandering spirits. Yeah, wandering spirits. Absolutely.
Okay, what I want to do now is cover exactly. We got the website, I believe, the Fort Walters
Mhm.
Facebook page there, running across the bottom of the screen. If people want to go there, they can get all the information they want. But for right now, what I'd like to do is how the name of the event, the address, and where it's going to be, and the date it's going to be, and what the time is going to be.
Okay. It is going to be on April the 23rd from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. It is going to be in, let me get this, 831 and 832 Hood Road in Mineral Wells, Texas. The event is called a Paraunity event. And again, that's April the 23rd from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. And that's in Mineral Wells, Texas.
Okay. So this is an event more than a Paracon, but you do have guests there.
We have guests. We're also going to have vendor tables. I don't have a count on the vendor tables at the moment, but there will be vendors at the event during the daytime. It's going to be held actually in the PX is where all the vendor tables and the round table talking about Paraunity is going to be. But there will be vendors as well.
Okay.
But it's not a Paracon.
Is this a working event? I mean, a working location, or is it just a non-open location, abandoned, or just not there's nothing in there?
It's Texas Scaregrounds during different seasons, so they build like a huge haunted house and run it through October. They have people chasing you with chainsaws and all that. Then during the other parts of the year, they do a bunch of different stuff just to keep it active. They do some flea markets
so
and things like that.
And paranormal
investigations.
Yeah, people book.
It's kind of an event.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's an event location. That's all they do there. Okay.
Yep.
It's not a working bank or a restaurant or anything like that. It's an event, basically an event center, from what you're telling me.
Well, Fort Walters was actually, and I don't know as much about the history as Kellen does, so please interrupt me at any time. It was in 1963 during the Vietnam era. It was actually the grounds for the helicopters and that sort of thing. Stephen Woodard was telling me that they actually had a flight pattern there that was mocked up like Vietnam flight pattern.
Yeah, the entire flight area. It was the exact same layout as like the heliport in Saigon.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, exactly.
Smaller scale. So that when they went to Vietnam, it was exactly the same, just bigger. So they knew like exactly where everything was and how it functioned.
So it served through the Vietnam era, and I believe
and World War II. It was an
right.
army training ground then, though.
And they actually held German prisoners there, I believe. Is that
Yep.
correct?
Wow.
So yeah, it's got a quite a history, military history, which is just absolutely amazing to me. We also there in the building now. There's a lot of memorabilia and pins, you name it, just all kinds of things that actually came out of the Vietnam era and World War II as well. And what I think
Okay.
is amazing, and I've actually been there and seen this, and I've actually talked to Shauna Anderson, who is the building owner, and things just drop down right out of the ceiling. Pins, money, quarters, dimes. I think one was a World War II penny. Is that correct, Kellen?
Yeah.
And things just drop out of the ceiling. And they've got a plate, a plate there as you go into the PX, and it's got all the things in it that has just appeared on the floor. I was there one day when one actually dropped down. Mm-hmm.
I've often associated that with a portal area.
Yeah.
Where a portal just opens and closes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've actually seen this also. If you ever hear a portal close or watch it open, it's an interesting experience.
Absolutely.
And you can open up a small one. It's hard to see and hard to tell that it's open, but yeah, you can drop things through it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, that is one of the signs of it dropping down.
It's a really interesting phenomenon.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. I'm trying to, another thing that I think is very significant that we have there is the Chelsea the doll, the vessel doll, as they call it at this point, the vessel doll, that was also shown on Destination Fear. And that doll is displayed there. So that is something that you can investigate if you're into investigating all that sort of thing. There's a doll in there, very active. Very active. But Chelsea the doll on Destination Fear it's encased now, correct?
I know they moved it. I know it's like in its own special spot.
Its own special room, I believe now.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think is going to be really interesting. I'm actually going to and have already started that doing a psychometry reading on the doll, and I've picked up some really good information so far. But I will announce that actually at the event of everything that I've gotten. I've gotten several things so far of where Chelsea was for a long period of time and what she experienced. And then that's all I've gotten at the moment. So I'm working on that. I will be going back probably next week and spend some time with the doll and try to get more information, because I want to try to get as much history through my own private spirits to find out exactly what her history is. And then once I disclose that, then I'm hoping that I'll be able to get backup for what I have read.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah, and the reason the reason we call it Chelsea is because the investigator on Destination Fear was named Chelsea, and she took a picture of it. And there's a black shadow like coming up from behind the head. So then that's what made me interested in investigating it. So we went to the fort, and me and my colleague John did a EVP session around it. We got some crazy stuff, and we actually got the name Chelsea out of it. And we got like it mocking John, like he was messing with a EVP recorder in the dark, and he like messed something up. So he's like, "Oh shit!" And you just hear like this, "Oh shit!"
You can hear it. I mean,
this thing like full vocal tone, but kind of like in a mocking tone.
Yeah.
So,
have you got this recorded anywhere and posted?
Oh yeah, it's on my Instagram. I'll
The
send
Instagram you were talking about. So it's actually there. If somebody's interested, go to your Instagram page.
Yeah,
and they can actually see this video.
It's called the Nazareth doll in that video because we hadn't named it Chelsea yet. But we actually got the name Chelsea as an EVP. But that's the name of the investigator that originally took the picture. And I think it might have been referring to her, but now we call it that because of that. So that's how it got its name.
Okay. Something about that I probably need to disclose to y'all about Paranormal Unity. I wish that we could all be united with Paranormal Unity, but the experience that I've had several years in the paranormal is very, very hard. Of course,
And
I was almost sued by releasing information about the paranormal, about certain ghosts, because another, let me get my fingers where you can both see them, quote unquote, big exaggerated psychic, was practically claiming ownership of said ghost and wanted to charge that for people. He was charging $45 for a session to have 10, 12, 15 people in his sessions at once to tell the information to, and I was giving it out free.
Yeah, I'm not sure you could sue someone for that, but
I think he may have talked to a lawyer and they talked him out of it, but he gave me a hard time on Facebook, even saying that certain photos didn't exist, even though pictures of the photos, and people who are willing to swear the photos sitting right there for the public to see. If you want to go see it, it's right there. And I had some difficulties and finally just had to block him totally with threats of a lawsuit over Ghost.
Yeah, that definitely can happen, but I don't know. We try to stay away from that, I guess.
Like I said, I wish there was Paranormal Unity where I could find something, I could share it, and somebody else goes to the same place and maybe verifies it, and we're in support, we're in agreement. Well, this said this to me. Really? That's kind of what they said to me. And we could go on like that. In a perfect world, this is a beautiful thing. But my thing is that the egos get in the way.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Spirit knows that. So Spirit tells people, and this is my belief, and I will say it is my belief, that Spirit tells different people different things because different people have different intentions. So
you're probably right.
The Spirit knows this. When you walk into a room and you breathe into that room, Spirit knows who you are, what your intentions are, and what they will or will not be willing to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
So remember, when you're dealing with Spirit and someone says, well, that's not what they told me. Well, there's probably a reason they didn't tell them that. And they told you something different because your intentions are different. So it's very important to realize that Spirit has a personality, and
yes.
And they also, they can look at you and read you, just like you can look at me and I can look at you and read you. They know who you are based on what your intentions are when you walk into that room.
I basically never. Some people are into like antagonizing and instigating to try and get activity. No. I'm never into that. Like
no.
That's when I get like I've investigated with some people and they just start getting like disrespectful if nothing's like talking and like that. That's what makes me mad. I don't really care about like egos and stuff like that. Just like those kind of like practices. I'm like, nah.
I fully agree with everything you both just said. And Phoenix, I've done some experimentation to your point that the spirits can read you.
Absolutely.
If you look up the local stuff here in Arkansas, look up the Allen House.
Okay.
The Allen House has been on 2 or 3 different TV shows. It was the premiere show of the Ghost Brothers. I think Ghost Adventures were there. A couple other programs were there.
Nice.
And I was in there on a Halloween several years ago.
Okay.
And I just sat off to the side and opened up Echo Vox, if you've ever heard of that. It's
What box?
Echo,
Echo box.
box.
Yes,
Echo
yes.
box.
I have.
I was using the Echo box, and a tour group came through, about 7, 8, 10 people, and there was one guy wearing a hat like Kellen's wearing. You know, it didn't have the Texas logo on it, but it was a baseball cap.
Mhm.
And I was talking to Alan, which is the son. He's the number 2 spirit there. His mother, Liddell, is the number 1 spirit. And I said, Alan, can you give me the name of the gentleman who just walked in this room wearing the baseball cap? And the guy overheard me and, of course, perked up because he knew he was the only one in the room wearing a baseball cap. Alan immediately gave a name. And it was the correct name because the guy froze, got a little pale, and ran off the tour and out of the house.
That's funny.
So, Phoenix, that's to your point that when you walk into a room and you just, all you got to do is just breathe out or just walk into the room. You can hold your breath if you want to. They're going to know who you are, what your basic intentions are.
That's right.
And several other things you may not want to expose about you.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
All that up. Because they picked this gentleman's name up. He'd only been in the room maybe 10 or 15 seconds when I asked Alan to name his name. And I've done that in other locations where I asked somebody their name, or who just walked in, and they gave a name. I was once in Baxter's Grove Cemetery, just outside of Chicago. Y'all can look that up too if you want. That's interesting. And we were a lady that was working with me was write down everything that come over Echovox and the time stamped it. And we had a couple walk through. We asked them what their names were, and their names were not on her list. But when they walked back by as they were leaving, I said they were holding a child. I said, "What's your child's name?" They gave the child's name. She looked on her list, and at the exact same time, because she wrote down a couple walked into the cemetery. At that very instant, when they walked into the cemetery, the child's name was said by a child's voice over Echovox.
Wow.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Have you ever seen I don't know if this will date your age, but have you ever seen or heard of a psychic horn? Do you know what that is? Have you ever seen one? Back in the day, in the 30s, 40s, 50s, psychics used a psychic horn to contact spirit. Are you familiar?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're very
Since
long.
you said the much. Mm-hmm.
They're a long horn, and you talk through this horn, and you can also blow through this horn. And that's how it went back in the day, that spirit started connecting early on, was through psychic horns, which again has to do with your breath.
Yes.
Pretty cool. Why'd they go? You should bring them back, Phoenix.
I have thought of it many times. To find the psychic horn is very difficult. And I know where there is one, but the lady will not sell it. But yes, psychic horns were very, very, very prominent in their day, connecting to spirit.
Oh, okay.
So we should bring that back, Kellen. I agree.
Yeah, we should.
Let's do that.
Can you make one?
Well, yeah, you probably could. In length, they're probably 4 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet long. I can look it up, and we can try to make one. Absolutely.
We've also been, I guess there's like certain frequencies and stuff that you could like open stuff up with. So I was thinking about like those medicine bowls that you like put the thing around and like it hums.
Oh, the singing bowl.
Right.
Do you think? Oh,
singing bowl. Right there.
Absolutely.
Try that sometime. See if it like stirs anything up. Or
it does, by the way, and so does a bell. A lot of psychics that you see when they're in a seance. Not something that I do, by the way. I don't do seances, but if you see a psychic reach over and ring the bell at the beginning of a session or a seance, that also brings up spirit. Absolutely. A rattle will do the same thing. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Yeah, we should test that out sometime.
We should do the singing bowl. You'll find it amazing.
Yeah.
And again, that's the frequency, because this has stuff in it and you can't hear it. But when you hit it, you hear the frequency. Yeah.
Yeah. He's
Okay,
got
I'm awake now.
Yeah.
Kellen,
Let's do this.
Kellen, can you
Yes.
tell us a little bit of what you're planning on doing during your ghost hunts on the night of the event?
I'm going to be in the PX building bank doing EVP sessions. That's where I've gotten like all the good ones. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing. EVP.
Have you done the vault, Kellen?
Yeah, I've been in there a few times. That's a good place. It's a little echoey though, so to do that right, you have to just like put a recorder in there with no one else in there and ask questions from somewhere else. Because if you're talking in there, like it's so echoey that but yeah, we'll do that. We'll put a recorder in there and talk. Mm-hmm. There's something we like to do that we get a lot of good stuff on. We put a voice recorder and a cell phone in like an isolated location, and we call that cell phone and have it on a live call, and then you talk and ask questions through the cell phone, and you get some good stuff sometimes. I don't know if it's because the cell phone puts out like an EMF field like in that vicinity, so it's easier for stuff to communicate, because cell phones have a pretty good EMF field. So like if you have a voice recorder right next to it, then that charged air might be easier to communicate through. That's my theory anyway. It's kind of soft science because it's not. That's just what I think. But we've gotten like we've gotten good stuff with that too. So we'll do some of that.
What time are you going to start doing this?
I think that's yet to be determined, but definitely
It'll be somewhere between 9:30 and 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And that'll give us what, 3.5 hours to do investigations and maybe switch
That's what I was about to say. That's a pretty, for how much money are we talking about? How much are the tickets going to be?
Like $50 if you buy them online, $60 at the door.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good.
This will include going into where the vendors tables are, listening to the guest, and a 3.5 hour ghost hunt in a known haunted location. Have I got that right?
Yes.
That is correct. And we're also going to have food and drinks there as well early on as kind of like a little gathering, mix and mingle, get to know people. The other thing that has not been mentioned at this point that we want to bring up is that if you're new into the paranormal, don't be shy. Please come and enjoy it. Ask questions. If you're new, it is a perfect time to get in there, meet a lot of people. One of the most important things about being in the paranormal society and community is to get to know people so that you know where to go investigate and who to go with. And people, you get to know people and they'll ask you to come along with them. So if you're trying to get into the paranormal, come see me, introduce yourself, and I'll introduce you to everybody.
Cool.
We're inviting all new investigators. And again, no question is a stupid question. So you can ask questions all day long and we're there to answer them. That's why we're there. That's why we're in the paranormal, is to bring in more people. So the more people we have, the more we will learn.
And I will give a quick message too to anybody new into the paranormal or is thinking about getting into the paranormal. This is step one. People always ask, what's the first thing I should do? And what I tell them, get a legal pad, get a pencil and or a pen, maybe 2 or 3 of each, and hook up with somebody like the two of you so they can learn from you the right ways and wrong ways. Mm-hmm. But that's the cheap way to get into it. Find a group, find a person who can show you how to do stuff the right and wrong ways, and bring a legal pad and a pen and pencil. That way you can, 1, take notes, but 2, a legal pad and a pencil is a lot of times all you really need to investigate. You don't need to spend $1,000 on equipment.
No, and what I found is the most important thing that you bring with you is your heart. You ask a question from your heart, and you're most likely to get an answer. Isn't that right, Kelly?
Yeah. I try
Your
and
heart or
stick
your
to the
open
time
mind.
period, stick to like sincere questions, like
Mm-hmm.
empathize, all that stuff kind of brings stuff out. So
Absolutely.
me and Phoenix got we think from a nurse last weekend, like a hi. Phoenix said hello, and I think it was probably audible, but it was probably too quiet to hear, but it's on my recording.
Oh, I can hear
Where
it.
was it?
Oh, yeah,
Where was
yeah.
it?
On the
It's-
recording, you could hear it, but at Worley Hospital in Pampa.
Okay.
That's
Oh, you
his
were in
most
Tampa?
recent video that's on Instagram. The one that he was telling you about that's 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
I really encourage anyone to go look at and listen to that EVP. But you got to remember, an EVP is a recording of someone else. It's a recording of
Yes.
what we ask and what they said in return. You
Mhm.
can't dispute that.
Yeah. No. That's why I love EVPs. They're my favorite things.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So all you
I
really
like
need to be a good investigator is a recorder and the right
Mhm.
environment. You can't have too many people in the environment, because if you have I'd say you have to be very cautious about if you whisper something, be like, that was me, you got to try and, there's a way to do it, but if you know how to do it, EVPs are the gold standard, I think.
Yes.
And
I
once
like
you
the
heard it, you're
ghost
hooked.
box. Mm-hmm.
What?
I like the ghost box or echo boxes where I get direct interactive conversation.
Yeah, those are pretty
Yeah,
interesting.
that's nice. Yeah, that's the spirit box.
When a one word reply, yes, no, or whatever, you got to wonder about that. That could be random. What I consider go with an echo box or a ghost box is when you get a complete sentence or 4 or 5 words by the same voice, forming maybe a slightly incomplete sentence, or somebody's name that you didn't know. So I've been accused of faking stuff and recording stuff. But I look at him and said, did I know your name before? Did you tell me your name? No. How do I know your name? You're not wearing a tag.
Yeah. Yeah, those
And
things. I think those things are interesting if they're not attached to any if it's on an iPad or something. I'm a little skeptical of it. But if it's an actual device that doesn't have any intelligence and those things are just coming out as intelligent responses, that's a little different. Like the Huff boxes and stuff like that. Those are pretty interesting.
Yes, it's different and interesting. Everybody uses their own techniques. Some people work with lighting and devices. Other people, like Phoenix, works with what the skills and talents that she has.
Mm-hmm.
And I've talked to a lot of psychics. Psychics are a valuable thing to me to take on an investigation. I love investigating with psychics.
Yeah,
as long as they're not trying to fake stuff.
Yeah, spirit will talk to you. I mean, I've actually heard, and I know Kellen has too, with her own ears. And when you hear a spirit voice with your own ears, it doesn't get much better than that, does it, Kellen?
No.
It's crazy. It's just as exciting every time, even if you've heard it a few times. It's
absolutely.
It is. It's exciting.
I use the spirit box a lot.
Okay.
I use Spirit Box, and I've got probably 30, 40 on my phone that I've actually recorded on my phone with the Spirit Box, and you can hear the Spirit Box in the background. You can hear it, and then you can hear the voice. One time I asked if there was anything that the girls wanted to tell me about tell their mother, tell their family, and the spirit that I had connected to that was helping me with this murder investigation. He said, I said, this may be the last time I'm ever here. So please tell me anything that you want to tell your family, your mother. And he goes, she's trying to. I have it on my phone.
Wow.
That's pretty great.
And that's several words stringed together, and that's amazing. That is so much more impressive than a yes, no, or one word answer when several words are strung together.
Yeah,
that's an incredible find in my book.
it was when I heard those words, and I had my phone over here recording it on the audio app and the spirit box. And when I heard that, it was my heart filled with joy. I've never in my, did she ever get to tell me? No.
No. Mm. I once got over Echovox. A guy came on and was laughing, and he said she's wearing a blonde hat, which is amazing by itself. But a female voice come in and says, "What? What are you talking about?" And he said she's wearing a blonde hat. And the woman's voice said, "Oh, yeah." Both of them started laughing, and that was it. And the person I was working with was a ghostwriter. You know what I'm talking about, Phoenix. The time that the people write, in other somebody else's handwriting, what the spirit is saying.
Mm-hmm.
She had that talent, but
Mm-hmm.
She also had really short hair naturally, and she was in the habit of wearing a long blonde wig. And in the place we were an old foundation that was occupied in the very early 1800s. In the early 1800s, they hadn't come up with the word wig yet. Right. They called them a hat.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And they were the two ghosts, male and female, were making fun of the woman's wig.
Mm-hmm. I get that. Wow, that's funny. Yeah, yeah. The paranormal is amazing. People who
yes.
Work in the paranormal. I was hunting ghosts when I was 13, and I thought it was the greatest thing ever, and I've never stopped.
I've stopped a couple of times, getting more into the establishment. I have not worked consistently like that. You have been in. You're not that old, but from 13 to present time, that's still quite a while in the paranormal.
Quite a while. Mm-hmm. And it never ceases to amaze me. That's the beautiful thing about the paranormal. Yes. You never learn it all. You never will, but you learn something new every time you go.
No, you never will.
Yeah, definitely.
But back to the paranormal. Go ahead.
Go ahead. That's what I was about to say. Let's get back to the event.
Yeah. So our
we've only got about 7-8 minutes.
Okay. Our event at Fort Walters is going to be all about spirit, all about the paranormal, and we're going to have people that you can group up together, like I said, with some of the investigators, Stephen Woodard, George Shoplin, Kellen, Mike Koft, and they're going to be taking people around. They can ask questions about things that they want to. There'll also be the opportunity to investigate by yourself for those who want to do that. They can do that as well. And again, the Chelsea doll is going to be there, and I think that's she's an amazing doll. Like I said, I'm going to go there next week and spend some time with her again, and I think that it's going to be a very big deal. Once you see this doll, I believe there's some pictures. I know there is on Facebook of her, but you're drawn to this. You're drawn to this energy. Amazing. Fort Walters is an amazing place. Again, Fort Walters is located in Mineral Wells, Texas, and it's on Hood Road, 832 Hood Road. And get your tickets at the door. Like Helen said, they're $60 at the door, $50 if you buy them in advance. And we're all looking forward to just sharing our time and our knowledge together, and with all the people that's going to be coming to this event. We wish all of you will be there.
Okay. And you can get more information at that Facebook page that's down below. Correct?
That is correct. I do have a telephone number too, if you want me to call that off.
Go right ahead. So
the telephone number, you can text to this phone number, 817-819-6773. That's 817-819-6773. 6773. Text that number and you will get a response. If you have a question about a vendor booth or tickets, you can get the information from there as well.
I'm assuming some vendor tables are still available.
Absolutely, there are. So the PX is a big place, and there's one gigantic room there, and there's plenty of room. So I'm sure there's tables still available. Yes, you can bring your own table if you got something set up where you want to bring your own table, but there also will be tables provided. So if you're flying in, you don't have to worry about how you're going to get a table there. We will provide tables.
Okay. If somebody wanted to come in, is there a charge for a table?
If someone wants to come in and just do a vendor table, yes, there is a charge for it, and I believe that's $50, but do not quote me. Text that number to be sure. But you can just get a vendor table. You do not have to buy a ticket to investigate.
Okay.
Tell me something that I'm missing that you would like to add, please.
That sounds, it pretty much covers it, but yeah, it'll be a great time and looking forward to meeting a bunch of new people and
Absolutely
investigating and listening to the talks. Should be very fun.
We are going to have a round table. I don't think that came up. There is going to be a round table where we're going to sit down and talk about Paraunity, talk about what it means to each and every one of us. And there's also going to be a question and answer time for people who wants to ask questions about Paraunity and or the paranormal and how to get into the paranormal and that sort of thing as well. It's going to be a real open and people. I love everybody that's coming. I am so excited to meet people that I've only met on Facebook and meet new people that I have never met as well. So I ask you to come and just come with an open mind and an open heart, and you'll have a wonderful time. I promise.
Okay, that's a good ending for Phoenix. Kelly, you got anything you'd like to add? We have about a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
I think Phoenix said it, but yeah, come on down and should be a great time.
I wish I could come, but it's that's a long walk from here in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. You're going to go to the Devil's Den with us, and the other one that we talked about.
Investigate the battlefield and the Allen House.
Exactly.
The Allen House is only 25 miles from where I'm sitting.
You got to understand, when you give Kellen a name of a new investigative site, he doesn't stop until he goes there. So,
really.
I'll do the Allen
House.
We'll have to, if you end up coming here to the Allen House, we'll have to get together and maybe slip into Dumas. There's a vacated hospital there.
Ooh,
that they used to use. And this one was used as a haunted house event for a while, just an empty building, so they used it for a haunted house. They had to stop because there were some semi-possessions from the people who worked there, and some of the kids who went through the haunted house were coming out kind of possessed when they walked out of the place.
Hospitals always get some weird dark thing in them. I don't know why. It seems to just matter.
There's a nurse in there not wanting other spirits to talk, because when I was in there, I have her recorded saying, "Shut up, be quiet, don't talk, don't answer."
Hierarchy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay. Anything else? We need to go ahead and get out of here because I had to cut this hour to an hour show. Hang on, don't turn off your devices. We can talk after I get out of the air.
Sounds great. Thank you again.
Let me go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you again, and I look forward to seeing everyone there.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Check us out on Instagram, Lone Star Paranormal Research.
Absolutely.
All right. With that, Bones, get us out of here.
Thanks for watching our show. Be sure to tune in to next week as once again we journey way down south into Bayou Country for another heaping portion of Southern Fried Paranormal with Len Dorman and Bones. Make sure to like, share, and follow. Y'all come back now. You hear?